Hello, Playdate. This is Don.
This is Nick.
And boop, boop, a boopity boopity boop, boop, a boop, and this is Ryan.
This week we are covering Playdate news.
Indie Games of the Week.
And celebrating our 20th episode by all of us showing up for the second episode in a row.
If you're still listening, thanks for listening. Let's get started.
Hey, guys, before we get into the news, I just wanted to
say some more boops.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks to everyone that checked out the reveal stream for my new game Drained last Monday. If you'd like to see it and you happen to have missed it, there will be a link in the show notes. And I also wanted to say congratulations to all the devs that participated in the Play Jam, and I'm looking forward to trying your games. Speaking of that Play Jam.
Oh, yeah. So,
Play Jam 2.
Yeah, Play Jam 2 just wrapped. And this was put on by possibly Oxalotl for a second time. And evidently there's one weekend to make a game for the Playdate. And the theme was crank it till you make it. The games will be rated in 3 categories. One is fun, another is creativity, and another is the use of the console. So from my understanding, the submissions period has ended, but there is a voting period to come. Anyway,
right now,
for those who can read better than I can, we'll have a link in the show notes of today's episode.
Yeah, we'll have a link to all the entries, and you can vote through, I believe, Sunday night. So today's it's going up Tuesday night. You got about 5 days to vote, to play and vote, and there's 24 entries. So
that's amazing.
That's a lot of time.
Awesome.
But a lot of games.
Thank you for saving me from myself, Don. And Nick, your silky smooth transition into that first boopity boop 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 news and note almost threw me off my game. Got to make sure we announce these news and notes. Speaking of which,
almost had him done. Sorry.
I'll edit all this out. It's fine.
Our next bullet, you're going to have a lot of editing to do. Our second bullet point is that Krista Mergen made a super rad trailer for the Playdate Community Awards. We've got a link to that in the show notes, and that also silky smooth leads into the fact that there are Playdate Community Awards show coming up this week. In fact, if you are listening to this, it's probably in 24 hours or less. It's happening Thursday, December 8th, 2022 at 3 p.m. Pacific. Who goes by Pacific? On Twitch, on Tiny Yellow Machine.
I don't know. Yeah, so that's 6 p.m. Pacific to 8 p.m. Pacific. It's a 2-hour show. And then after that, I noticed that they're going to be listening.
Was it?
I thought it was note show 3 p.m.
3 p.m. Pacific. So that would be
6 p.m.
starting time of 6 p.m. Eastern, right?
Eastern, yeah. Did I say Pacific?
Yeah.
You did.
Eastern, right. Okay. 6 to 8 Eastern, the other side of the Pacific, if you go all the way around the Earth. Eastern time, 6 to 8. On December 8th, whatever.
We're off to a great start.
Correct time.
Hello, this is Hello.
Can we start re-recording? We're only 4 minutes in. We could scrap all this. I got a lot of boops.
Okay, I think it's time for the boopity boop 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 boop.
No more boops. No more boops.
Let's just
one
go
boop
for it
per thing.
We get
no. We're still talking about the Community Awards show, because after the award show, despite it being the Game Awards, which is like the Oscars of the video game world, we have like the Oscars of the Playdate world and then the Oscars of the rest of the video game world, the lesser video game world right after. But if you are ignoring those, which is fair, Tiny Yellow Machine is going to be doing like a soundtrack dance party, listening party, something. So they're just going to be listening to different soundtracks from different Playdate games and just enjoying those on the stream. So stick around after the Playdate show.
Nice.
Yeah. And a reason to watch, if you're not into award shows, I'm getting all of the news out. What are you laughing about? There's going to be many announcements. I'm going to hit my mic and make it hard to listen to this segment. We should just re-record this whole 4 minutes. But anyway, there's going to be lots of different announcements from different devs and different members of the community. So, and different guests and whatnot. Very much a reason to watch. Yes?
That sounded like it was everything. Is that everything?
That is everything. Is
all
that
right,
all right?
We booped our way through the notes, which means we can bibbity boop 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 our way into
I have to wash my hair.
inventory.
I gotta go watch. wash my hair with my stove that's on. So
It's
I'll
the
see
it's
if
the
that's better.
glue that's holding this show together. If we didn't have the boops, we'd just be a big pile of stumbles.
Happier is the end of that sentence. Okay, indie inventory. Yeah, our indie segment here. These are games that were added to itch. Notable games were added in the last 2 weeks. There were a few. There were
Wait,
a bunch.
wait. I have a quick question. Should I boop at the beginning of each one of them like a bullet point so
Can
everybody
we?
knows it's the
We
next
need to
one?
have like an intervention where we talk about how many boops, like a couple boops before segments is acceptable. Rapid fire boops on every episode is unacceptable.
Look, we've been over this. This is a boop friendly zone. I'm not going to tolerate
I'm
any
just.
boop intolerance here or anywhere on the internet.
We need to let the joke die. Like I'm my counselor has been. We've been talking about this. My therapist and my counselor. We're about to get authorities involved. Okay, so indie
they
inventory.
they
The
need payment as
first
well.
game
I'm trying to help them with
coming
their next ivory
up
back scratcher.
is from. Oh man, why are these things always so rough? Amazapps, AMA apps, Ask Me Anything apps games, Stacky Hero, and he also released Stickman Hero on Playdate. The full price is $3.90, but I think both are on sale right now. But I wanted to put the real price, the evergreen price, so that if people are listening to this down the road when they get their Playdate in Group 4 or Group 5, they're like, oh, okay, I want to know what the real price is. So Stacky Hero, the idea is similar to Box Boy, where you're like growing up higher and reaching different heights, and Flappy Bird, but you have legs, I guess. And then Stickman Hero is like you're making bridges. They're kind of cool. Anyway, check those out. James Gameboy. Nick, did you hear James Gameboy got shouted out on the MinMax podcast the other day?
Yeah, I think I did.
This game got shouted out. Still My Beating Heart. You are making moonshine and swill and different things. So bottom chef swill, making it up to high-end whiskey. I played this the other day, and it's pretty fun. It's $1, so check it out.
Hard to beat that name too.
Isn't that so good? Isn't it? Still My Beating Heart. You Google it, and that's the only thing called that. It's fantastic. I love
That's
that.
brilliant. Yeah.
I hope I say this right. Mike Susek. He wrote code word play, $4. I had a lot of trouble with this game, but I want to give a shout out to Attack Slug on Destination Playdate. He uploaded a video today explaining how to play this game. I saw the sun come through the clouds. Major breakthrough. It's a Wordle type puzzle game. It's not like Wordle, but if you like Wordle, you like this. But watch the Attack Slug video because he really brings it all together. It's a short video.
Don, I hate to put this on you. Is there any chance you've got a link for that in the show
Yes,
notes?
it's not in the show notes, but I'll stick one in there.
Awesome.
In the show notes, yes. But
Yeah.
you can get loot and you can unlock different power-ups, I guess, different gear to use in this puzzle game. It's so cool. So definitely check that one out. A big release here. Olico released Life's Too Short, A Christmas Spirit, the follow-up to Life is Short, one of our very first indie game of the week. Do you guys get a chance to check this out? I should ask Ryan.
Not I. Haven't even
No.
downloaded. I've got to go check this out.
We know Nick's been super busy, so I'm not going to put him on the spot. But $1, it takes place in the same mansion that Life is Short takes place in. I played through this the other day. It's a short little walking adventure, point and click adventure. Very cute, timely. Definitely check it out. Jewel Defender. I don't know. I haven't played this one, but I love the box art, so giving it a shout out. $3.
And that's Rob Core, right?
Rob Core, thank you, Nick. Yes.
You're welcome.
Robin May Pan Flip Flop. This is a reversey game, correct? Yes. Looks very polished. I have not played this one yet either. It's $1.50. Looks very nice though. Cranky Frog from Onapurd or Onapurd. This one I did play. It feels like a WarioWare game, but with a little more depth. It took me a second to figure out how to play it. It's got a little bit of holding buttons, cranking and letting go of buttons to jump, but you're constantly like leaping your frog forward. It's very cool. Very cute art and whatnot. $1 too. I couldn't believe it was this cheap. It feels like a much more expensive game.
Where's the WarioWare aspect of this? This looks awesome, by the
It
way.
it feels like one of the games in WarioWare. You know how you get like 10 games that have a little
Yeah.
more depth to them. They're not
Mhm.
like WarioWare Inc. type game. It feels like one of those type of games.
I gotcha.
One of the deeper type of Wario games.
Unlockable endless games or whatever, right?
Yes. Yeah,
I
you get it.
understand now.
Yes.
Nice.
And then Rounds of Reckoning is by Aubrey663. It was inspired by the zombie mode from the Call of Duty games. I played this one a little bit. I kind of see that. You go in, you get a room, you kill the zombies, grab the key, and head out. So I only played a few rounds. It's $1. If that appeals to you, you like getting gear, check that one out. And then there's a billion really cool games in that in the Play Jam 2 list.
Mm-hmm.
So take the time to look in there because there's some really high quality games in that Play Jam box that will probably be showing up in our indie game of the week. I don't know, what is this box, a circular shaped box that I'm making with my hands that no one can see. Is that good enough, Ryan?
That sounded awesome. I did not know
I feel defeated.
of many of those games, and now I do. So now I know what to sideload in the future. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think I have anything to add to that. Nick? No.
Looks great. Looking forward to trying these one day.
All right. So we are over our rocky start of the episode and making our way into...
Are we?
No.
Here we go. Give me a second. Boopity boop 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 boop. Indie games of the week, starting with Don.
I would like to highlight a game called Mad City by Shizo on our Discord, also known as Tanuk Prod or Tanuk Productions, maybe. This is an homage to an older game. Looking for the name of the game in here. He mentioned it. He mentioned it in our Discord. It looks like it's not in the description here. But the idea is basically it's like an invisible maze. You start at the bottom of a box. You cannot see the maze. You need to make your way to the top of the maze. But the maze is a city, and you're in a car. The graphics are sort of like the original GTA games, GTA 1 and 2, where you'll come to an intersection, and there might be a gas station, a police station, a toilet. And so you're constantly keeping track of your fuel, how much money you have, if you need to go to the bank, what the disrepair of your vehicle, if you need to use the bathroom. I can't remember if I said that, etc. And then the directions you can make. So if you look at the itch screen, you can see sometimes you can make a left turn, go straight, turn right. If you turn where there's no arrow, the cops will pull you over and you have to pay a fine. So you really have to pay attention to those arrows. But also, if you go too far, you run out of gas, you have to find a gas station. Meanwhile, you cannot see anything on the map. So you're just trying to like sort your way out. Okay, I'm going north. Now I'm going west. I don't want to go too far south, so I don't turn around in a circle. So you're just like keeping a map in your head. I guess you could draw one while trying to go as fast as you can to get to the top of the map. One of the cool things, though, is when you're done, it draws your route. So you get to see where
neat.
you've been driving. I have never made it to even the center of the map after many playthroughs. It is a very big map, very difficult. But man, this game is so cool. It's very addictive, very polished. The soundtrack is great. Graphics are great. Yeah, you can see the map kind of in the middle of the screens he's got here.
I'm embarrassed to say that I haven't tried this one yet, but it's been high up my list of games to play, and it sounds amazing. So I really have no excuse but time. I'm going to make a new excuse.
Yes.
But this is extremely anxiety-inducing for me. This is I'm
navigating a city.
Driving directions are one of those things that I'm just terrible at, just completely awful at. If you tell me to make a left at the gas station or whatever, it falls out of my head as soon as you say it. So I feel like this will either help me with that problem or it'll, like I say, just induce that anxiety response. But either way, this looks awesome and I can't wait to play it. and I'm so sorry that I have not yet, but I will.
It's pretty great when you finish the game. You can also look at, oh, well, where were all the restrooms, where were all the garages, and there might be 30 of them on the map.
Oh
And you're
wow,
like,
really?
how did I miss all of the restrooms? I peed my pants and I lost the game. And
So it shows you things that you haven't seen, in other words, like everything that's on the map.
yeah, when you finish the game, you can look at everything.
That's neat.
Yes, and as far as I could tell, the map does not change. The map is just really, really big. I don't think it changes. I guess you could memorize it. It's just so large. It's hundreds of turns, I would assume. And there is a high score chart, or at least Shizo has one. I asked him in our Discord, like, how did you get those? How did you look at your high scores? Because I couldn't see how to see my high scores, but it does keep track of your score.
Mhm.
Like, I think he was in the 90s and I was in the 50s or something like that. But even his high score on his map, he was not at the end of the map. Anyway, it's kind of cool. Like, navigating an invisible maze has an appeal to it, I think.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys done like the corn mazes? It's kind of that season.
Yeah, we did our corn maze this year.
Did you just take all rights until you made it out?
That would have been a very short corn maze for us.
He's still in the corn maze. I don't know.
I'm still booping my way around. No, they give us a map. It's so big that they provide everybody with a map, and it still takes us like 45 minutes to an hour to get out, even going the exact correct route. It's like people are in there for literally hours trying to find their way out without a map. Anyway, back to games on the Playdate. Maybe that could be the next Playdate game. Corn maze.
Corn maze. Well, Nick's got nothing to do. He could probably make a corn maze game.
There you go.
Yeah.
Corn Jam 2 coming soon. All right. Speaking of Nick, would you like to speak on your indie pick of the week?
Yes. So, as Don has alluded to, and I might have mentioned up top, I am crazy busy, so I have not had much time, and I didn't for last episode either to play very many games. But before this episode, I sat down for a few minutes and played a game of Grelb's Very Good Video Poker. This game is funny to me in just the right ways. It's a fairly straightforward video poker simulation, but with an odd shirtless king character who kind of tells you the rules of poker and then tells you if you've won or lost each hand. You are playing video poker, not poker against an opponent. So there are not multiple rounds of betting. It's 5-card draw. So it's a fairly straightforward game. The graphics, the illustrations on the different cards are really very charming, I guess is the right word. They're not like super highly detailed or anything, but what's there, like for the face cards, Jack, Queen, King, are very clear and consistent, and the numeric cards are very easy to read at a glance. Everything in the interface is just fantastic. Chef's kiss. But the game itself, you turn the crank to increase your bet or decrease your bet. You can bet from 1 to 5 coins, and then that's multiplied based on the type of hand that you have. So if you have 2 pairs, I think it pays 1 to 1, and then it goes up from there all the way to a royal flush, which is something like 250 to 1 or something like that. The game, though, the critique that I would have of it is that I feel like the randomizer might not be super
randomy.
Well, it's very random, but I think it might be a little too random. Each deck of cards has 52 cards, but the randomizer's mean. So it's actually pretty hard to make a decent hand. So I found my fortunes raising and lowering very quickly in this game. Surprisingly, you start with 100 coins, and the maximum bet is 5 coins. So if you're winning at 1-to-1, you're just getting your money back basically. Um, but yeah, I found that sometimes the best strategy is just to let all the cards go, because it's so random that it doesn't matter what you hold, you'll never win. Um, but then sometimes it'll get into a groove where it is paying out fairly uh, well, or using the rules that you might expect if you've played a lot of poker or video poker. So that might need a little extra baking if they wanted to go back into that and just modify the algorithm. But I wanted to highlight a couple other cool things about this. First of all, this was just written in a few days over 2020 as part of an interactive media jam. Um, and they say because of the time constraint, it lacks a little bit of polish, like a launcher card and so forth. But it's really quite polished and cool. And this was made by Stephen Frank, who apparently works for Panic.
Mm-hmm.
The graphics were made by his daughter Eliza, who was 10 at the time.
Oh, that's killer.
Or some of the graphics. So I just want to say, great job, Eliza. That is so awesome. And I know a little bit of the joy of working with a 10-year-old to create a game, and it was a lot of fun. So I hope that Stephen, you had a similar experience and you really enjoyed it, because it's really cool to be able to create something that others can enjoy with your child. So anyway, that's Grelb's very good video poker, and I would recommend giving it a shot.
I love
Stephen
that
Frank.
game title, and like the one visual they have on the itch page is so perfect. It has that like childlike innocence quality to it, and oh man, I love it. I'm already a fan, and I haven't even played it yet.
Stephen Frank also made Inventory Hero and worked
Oh,
on. We worked on B360.
really?
Yep.
Interesting. Huh. No wonder you could crank this out in a day.
Good pun.
Yeah. So this is free, and you can just download it on itch.
Just did. Just downloaded
Nice.
on itch. Thank
Nice
you for
work,
the heads
Don.
up.
Nice work. Yeah, no problem. Hope you enjoy it.
Very cool.
Ryan, what you got?
Before we boop on to me, I do have a question. So you
Yes.
said it was poker, and I'm used to Texas Hold'em, so obviously this is very different from Texas Hold'em.
Mhm.
But are you just dealt 5 cards and that's what you get, or you can like hang on to a couple and replace a couple, or you can replace all of them?
It's 5-card draw, so you can
Mm.
turn in as many of the 5 as you want to be
Okay.
redrawn, or hold on to as many of the 5 as you wish.
Okay. All right. Cool. I think that was my only question. I was going to ask you about artwork because I was pretty taken by that, but you answered that question. So I think that's all I got. Don,
Cool.
did you have anything to say about old Grelb?
Downloaded, but haven't played.
Okay.
I'm
You've been
looking
playing in the
forward to it
past
now.
20 seconds?
I will say it's kind of hard, especially now that I've been doing the indie inventory thing, is when there's just one image of a game, it doesn't sell it in the same way as when there's multiple images or a GIF or something. And that was kind of the case with that game. There's one image, it didn't show an image of the gameplay. And so I was like, I don't know what this is. And I just kind of kept scrolling. So I'm really glad that Nick highlighted it and sold us on it. It sounds a lot more fun than I kind of gave it credit for.
Yeah.
So thank you, Nick.
You're very welcome.
Very cool.
That's the beauty of the indie game of the week. So, Ryan,
Nicholas,
what you got?
I shall now talk about another game. So I was really quite smitten with my indie pick of the week. I guess that's why I picked it. It's called Queen of parentheses Mine parentheses cart. Queen of Carts or Queen of Mine Carts. And there's a really lovely illustration title card The rest of the game does not look anything like that. The rest of the game looks a lot closer to maybe a pulp type game. But that aside, boy howdy, did I ever enjoy this game. I'd call it sort of like an action puzzler, I guess. You are a train cart. Well, I guess the real story is you're Birmingham McQueen. Anyway, there's a big silly backstory, but essentially you're a minecart moving along these tracks, and you have these what do they call those, diverters on the tracks, where you can turn them in different ways, and you need to turn them so that they line up with the track so that the minecart can continue moving, or else kabam, you fail. So there are a lot of different configurations of these tracks. There are a lot of different numbers of carts that will appear. It's not always just one. Sometimes you're trying to keep 2 or 4 or 5 or 6 or multiple cars going on different tracks at the same time. It's really quite fun, quite challenging, ramps up in difficulty in a nice way. Starts you off easy and then moves up. And yeah, I just had a fantastic time playing this game. I found myself really coming back to it quite a bit. It felt very polished. It did not feel overly difficult. For example, when there are levels with multiple cars on it, let's say there's 6 total cars, it does not always force you into making every car complete the track. So if 6 cars show up, it might say you've completed 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, so that you know that you only have to get 4 across the finish line in order to complete that level. So it's forgiving in that way too, but yet also challenging. Anyhow, I give this a big, big thumbs up. And on top of all that, it's free. It's not even a pay what you want. It's free. I clicked the download information and it didn't even give me an option to pay the dev, who happens to be, pause, DigiCarrot, Kerot, DigiCarrot. Anyhow, DigiCarrot, you did a bang up job on this, and I am getting a lot of enjoyment out of it. Nick and Don, have either of you played or downloaded but not played this game yet?
I haven't done either, but I definitely plan to. I'm noticing on the itch page that the dev is very responsive to questions. So I think that's usually a great sign. And this game looks really fun to me, so I'm looking forward to trying it at some point.
Oh, and I did not mention that these diverters that you turn to line up with the track to keep your carts moving is controlled by the crank. So basically, this is an entirely crank mechanic powered game.
Yeah, I played a bit of it. Ryan, I'm not sure how far you got. Are there eventually stages that are more than one screen length?
I have not found one that's more than one screen length. I think I'm up to about level 16, 17, something around there.
Okay.
How
Yeah.
far did you get?
Not that far. Maybe 10 or so. It says there's
Okay.
40 stages. So yeah, not that deep. It looks like I kind of hoping they're self-contained into one screen. I like that I don't know. I like that idea.
Yeah, the
The
stage that
limitation.
yeah, I agree. I agree. The stage that I'm trying to power my way through right now has lots of crisscrossing in the single screen. So you'll make your way across horizontally, but then you'll have to go like up and down and up and down and up and down. And of course, all of those cross over the tracks that you just drove over. And then after you make your way over those, then you go back horizontally once again. And it's odd because again, there's patterns to these things. So like the first time I would go through, if you recall, as you move the crank, there's audible clicks for these rotating devices. And the first time you go across, it's 4, and the next one you make it through, make it through, do the next one. But then the next ones are not 4 clicks. There'll be like a single click, but then occasionally there'll be alternate patterns of clicks. And so I'll get into my head, okay, I'm in a 4-click mode now, and I'll get to the 3-click one and overclick it or something like that. Anyway, it does a really good job of like formulating patterns and getting you into a rhythm, but then switching things up and forcing you to stay really present and cognizant of what's going on in the game. I really, really quite fancy it. I love it. Yeah.
I know for sure I've played similar types of stages in just regular video games, maybe Nintendo era games where you're just hitting a button, hit the B button to turn the, I don't know, the turnstile or whatever it's called. But yeah, it's really satisfying to use the crank. It's very responsive. It just feels really good, feels really polished. It says that they made the game in a week, which is, you know, even more impressive. But
Totally. That's bonkers. And the fact that they figured out 40 levels in a week,
right?
That's nuts.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand
this is one not to miss.
Yeah. I understand they're working with some sprites here, but still, I mean, the level design is really good. Yeah. Keep cranking, Don. There's some really fun levels to come.
Cool. I just noticed when we were talking, it's Queen of Carts, like Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's cute.
Yeah. These are some winners this week. I feel like we found some really, really fun games on here.
There are always winners, Ryan.
It's true. It's true.
This is always a hard segment because there's so many games to talk about. We're never going to run out. It's hard to pick one where I kind of want to highlight, oh, there's 4 games I played this week that I'd like to talk about.
I really like when we all pick something that, you know, nobody else has played or just a couple of us have played, because it's it's fun.
Because then no one has any rebuttals.
Exactly. No, because it's, you know, it's like you're telling your buddy, hey, check this out. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And it is true. I mean, we've said this before. It's such an embarrassment of riches right now. I mean, that's why we have the indie inventory every week now. Because I mean, we each choose a game. We're telling everybody about 3 of them every other week. I mean, my game, I don't know about your guys' game. My game just came out 9 days ago, I think. So since we last chat, this game came out, and the mountain of games that Don just went over. It's crazy. I can't believe that this many games are coming. It's so cool that they've just blown the platform wide open so that anybody can develop on it. I love it.
Definitely.
Of the 24 Play Jam games, I didn't count, but I don't know, maybe 6 of them that I played. And I don't know, I enjoyed all of them. Like, they would all be ripe for this kind of thing.
That's awesome.
Did you play possibly Axolotl's it was like a submarine steering game?
A Deep Dive.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
What's your high score there?
It was in the 90s, like 94 maybe.
Okay.
Look. What was yours? 97 is mine.
I was all my high scores hovered so close together. I think the first time I got 140, and then I played again and got 141, and the next time I played and got 142. Like I felt like I would have to play it a whole lot to have any significant increase. But I almost shot a note in the Discord to say, hey, let's start a high score table for this, but then I didn't.
What am I doing wrong? Like, I feel like I didn't mess up at all, and then all of a sudden it was over.
So if I understand the game correctly, you're turning right and then you're turning left, and those arrows switch.
Right.
And it gives you a particular amount of time to realize that the direction has shifted for you to change the direction of your crank. And as the game continues, that window of error gets smaller and smaller, I believe. So as you're cranking clockwise and it switches, you got to hurry up and crank it the other way.
Hang on. You're cranking. I was like one crank, one crank, one crank, one crank. I wasn't like cranking quickly.
So I think that it matters how long the arrow is pointing. So the arrow can point in one direction, and then you crank that direction and it registers, and then it moves the other direction, and you crank as long as that arrow is present. So the arrows can stay present for different amounts of time. If I'm recalling
I noticed
correctly.
that. Yes, the arrows might be 3 seconds, then 1 second, or half a second even.
Yeah.
So, okay, so maybe you're cranking it 5 times and I'm cranking it 2 times. You're getting 5 points, I'm getting 2 points, something like that. That makes more sense. Okay, I'll have to try that.
You know what I'm wondering now? I'm sure we could look this up real quick, but if you're getting points based on the number of correct reversals that you make, or like the seconds of crank that you're doing, I was under the impression it was the number of reversals that you did correctly, or
I'm
within
thinking
the
the
allotted
number of
amount of time.
cranks because the time changes.
Hmm.
I don't know. We'll have to test the theory.
Yeah.
Nick, you got to get to work on this.
Download and play it, my friend.
Nick, spend all your free time testing out theories.
I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately, but I am looking forward to trying this at some point.
We're just teasing you. Definitely check out the one where you roll back the odometer on vehicles to commit fraud. That's a good one. And the one where it's like track and field.
That's a companion app to Super Corporate Tax Evader, isn't it?
There you go. Yeah. I don't know if it's the same dev, but more fraud-based Playdate games, please.
Yeah, there might be a theme that fits well with the Playdate.
Yeah.
Are you periodically interrupted as you're rolling back the odometer?
No. You want to roll it back not too far, you'll break it, and then the card sells for a lot less. Then you want to roll it back just enough. So if you're at like 110,000 miles, I've been rolling it back just under 100,000 miles and then selling it.
Very conservative. That's nice.
Yeah, I don't want to push my luck.
Yeah,
you just got to get it below those 6 digits. That's all.
That's right. I try to just get in there. Be realistic, not greedy.
So how do you win in that game?
There's a timer. It's like maybe a minute or 90 seconds or something, and then you try to sell as many cards as you can, and then it adds up how much money you've saved by, I guess, how much fat is left on the bone, and then how much your total pot is, and then there's a high score.
That's really funny.
Oh, you sold 17 cars for whatever, $7,000. So that's the current high score.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Was that in the indie inventory, or did you not include
I didn't
Playdate
include
2 games
Playdate
in the
games. No, I didn't. Like I played that Rocky's Stairs one a lot because I was helping I don't know, troubleshoot it. So that's sort of like a 3-lane, and it's not even a 3-lane because you can kind of walk wherever. You're walking up a stairs and you're dodging opponents and picking up stars. And that one was fun, but it was a Play Jam game. And there's just so many good Play Jam games. I didn't want to I didn't want to highlight any, but then I just highlighted like 5 of them. Just go play them all. I don't know. I didn't play them all either. So maybe there's 15 other good ones. So I don't know yet. I'm sure they're all great. Go play them all. I will get to playing them all. I think the first Play Jam, maybe Nick remembers, there was like 12 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
there was not nearly as many.
Very healthy growth. That's
awesome.
Very exciting.
Yeah, that's great. It was fun, and I noticed like I was getting Squid God Dev and possibly Axolotl mixed up a lot this year. Mm-hmm. They're both like sea creatures, and then we got like the Reach the Ocean crew from Zanya Lasagna. It's like all these sea creatures I'm constantly getting inundated with. I can't keep it all straight. So my apologies to every dev.
I'm sure you'll have a whale of a time keeping track of all of them.
Oh, Lord.
And boopity boop boop, that's the end of our show.
Thank you.
Just real quick here at the end, I wanted to say thank you again to anybody who checked out the reveal. Ton of work went into making that game, and I wanted to say thank you to both Don and Ryan, because I saw you both in there, and I really appreciate your support as well. And if anybody's listening who happened to purchase one, I very much appreciate your support. Thanks so much for believing in my different projects. It really means just a tremendous amount to me. So thank you.
Yeah, that stream was really great to watch. I feel like I finally understood the game a lot better and was really impressed with the depth that you were able to program into that game. I can't wait to play it.
Looked like a lot of fun. Also can't wait to play it. Looking forward to you touring the country with it, Nick.
Yeah. World tour.
the world tour. Well, thanks so much for listening. Playdatepodcast.com. Get us on maybe Twitter for right now. But anyway, Discord. Hop in the Discord. Link in the show notes. And we will catch you in a couple weeks. Watch the Playdate Awards show.
Yes.
Happy holidays.
Boobity bye.